Thanks for joining us again. My name is Nathan Harris, and I'm the Director of Education over at EGSA. Joining me today is Andy Briggs from Power Telematics. Thanks for joining us, Andy.
Hey, Nathan, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling me up.
Oh, well, no problem. First, can you just give us a brief rundown on where you're located and what Power Telematics does?
Oh, great, Nathan. Yeah, Power Telematics, we're located in Atlanta, Georgia, and we do generator monitoring that is universal for all brands, ages, sizes, and for stationary and mobile generators. We also do mobile asset equipment location tracking for things such as load banks, cargo trailers, and the such. And a big part of our business is vehicle tracking, typically for service technicians and service truck locations. And all of that integrates back into and managed by our web-based software system called PowerLink. And our primary clients are generator dealers, distributors, and independent service companies looking to improve and grow their service business.
Well, thank you for that rundown. So can you talk a little bit about how the pandemic has affected your day-to-day operations?
Well, like most everybody in our business, we're open. Quite frankly, we've been pretty busy. We have had to try to have people work from home and work remote as much as possible, and still maintain a kind of a core group of people in the office to still process and handle the day-to-day, such as programming monitors, processing orders, receiving an inventory, things of that. But so far, thank God, everybody's healthy. And a lot of what we do is internet-based anyway. We have VPN connectivity back to the office. So the technology side of what we do, not so disruptive. But yeah, we've had to learn a few things and a few lessons during the course of this time, tweak a few things to make it a little more seamless for people to work remotely from home. But when or if the next time comes about where we need to do this, whether it's something like this or an ice storm or what have you, we're a lot better prepared today than we certainly have been. So not overly disruptive, but it certainly has been a little bit of a change for us.
Well, that's a good silver lining, that what's going on now is helping you prepare for the future. Let's talk a little bit about the importance of remote monitoring and diagnostics in this kind of new reality that we're working through.
So yeah, I think that without a doubt, this pandemic has created kind of new awareness, maybe even an added perspective as a result into the value and importance of remote monitoring. A lot of our clients are even saying that generator owners are a lot more receptive to even having the discussion about remote monitoring these days. But you ask about the value and importance of what we do. And, first is to understand, realize, and recognize the primary purpose of what we do and the purpose of remote monitoring. And that is to make sure to do everything that we can that the generator works when the power goes out. So regardless of pandemic or not, the underlying premise of what we do is extremely important. But in light of this new reality that you're talking about, a couple of examples that might help illustrate this. One is weeks ago, we had severe storms and tornadoes rip through the Southeast, knocking out power to thousands. In fact, many people were without power for days. So the generators were running. And while many of these were commercial applications, a lot were residential generators. And these are people that are at home, sheltered in place, many working from home kind of thing. So the value of making sure that these generators work when the power goes out was huge. A big part of what we do is also helping our clients identify generator issues and help even triage those generator issues so that they can deploy the technicians more effectively and most effectively. And another value that we saw from this is that when generators are running for extended periods of time, our clients can then, after the event is done, schedule service for those that have been running literally for days, that those generators need to be serviced. But we also had another scenario that really sort of hit home to me as to the importance and the value of what we do. We have a client up in New England, and they maintain and service the generators for a company that owns 62 senior living facilities and nursing homes there in New England. And they have our monitoring systems on all 62 generators. Well, we already know that today, any kind of personal contact anywhere near a senior facility like this is extremely dangerous due to COVID-19. In fact, my 85-year-old father is in a senior facility, and that place is locked down and guarded about as tight as Fort Knox is right now. But we also recognize that backup power, emergency power is absolutely critical for these facilities. So when the storms right through the southeast, they were moving up the coast and moving up to the northeast. And so the owner of these facilities, obviously very concerned about these storms, and particularly with the shelter-in-place orders that are in effect. So on Easter Sunday, I get a call from our client telling me about all this and, of course, about their concern. So that afternoon, together, we supported them by remotely starting with just a few mouse clicks, remotely starting all of their generators in one shot in advance of the storm. So first of all, 2 of the generators didn't start, but we already knew that. They were being monitored, and they had failed and went into a generator fault shutdown during their weekly exercise the day before. But all 60 of the other generators ran and tested perfectly. We ran them for 30 minutes. But preparation like that in advance of a storm was huge. And it really hit home with me that with even just one small thing that we did, we added value and made a positive difference, not only in the lives of our client, for their customer, but actually for the thousands of seniors in those facilities. As it turns out, almost half of those generators were needed for that storm. So overall, I mean, talk about the feeling of fulfillment, that the small part that we did made a difference.
Well, I mean, that's amazing to hear. And just the idea that, you know, even with the stay-at-home orders, you were able to do it for storm prep, but I'm sure these facilities were at ease knowing that if there was a lockdown, they can have them, their diagnosis shot to you and get recordings and find out what they need to do.
Absolutely. You know, just the coordination, and that's the type of service that we provide for our clients. And you talk about the importance and value of remote monitoring, remote diagnostics, not only in this time of new reality, but just in general. Quite frankly, it is the way of the future in our industry and for field service. And that type of capability does indeed make a difference, certainly in cases of national crisis, national pandemic, but just in our day-to-day generator service.
Well, Andy, thank you so much for sharing that story with us. Do you have any advice for other EGSA members during this time?
Yeah, you know, I think we all in our industry have kind of renewed appreciation, understanding that we are an integral part of the critical infrastructure of our country. And this pandemic has sort of brought a lot of that to light. Advice, yeah, something we've been talking about here, that I think this is a great opportunity for all of us to evaluate our businesses, evaluate how we do business, and evaluate what we can do to better serve our customers. That so that we can be stronger, better, and more prepared for when the next time something like this happens. I don't think it's a matter of if, but I believe it's when something like this is going to happen again, whether it's another virus, another round of COVID-19, a natural disaster, or who knows, maybe something even worse. But let's take this opportunity. If we're smart, we'll take the lessons learned from this, evaluate our businesses, evaluate how we can do business better, be more prepared, and what we can do to better serve our customers, not only just in a time of crisis, but every day.
Well, thank you so much, Andy. That is great advice. I want to thank you again for joining us, and we appreciate your time today, and be safe out there.
Thanks, Nathan. You be safe as well. Great to see you again.